This is a tournament stream for Jungy's Japes. The current set is between ReggiesWarOnEverything and Paradicus, aka Petersonian. They have already revealed their first characters, so let's ride. Alright, so we can see that Reggie is running Mole Knights, Paradicus is running Jamina as per X, one of the S tier characters from season. Wait a minute. Oh, Vega! Well, same thing. I'm gonna assume that they set that up ahead of time just to troll me. Oh, well. Y'all nerds. Alright. Reggie's got Mole Knight, Petersonian's running Vega. This will be interesting. Two very mobile characters, albeit with very different kinds of mobility. Vega moves around a lot during strikes. Mole Knight technically also moves during strikes, but he does it specifically by using his burrow when he initiates. Vega's character ability lets him bounce off the wall, which is to say that if he's at the edge of the arena when he sets his attack, his specials and ultras, meaning his character-specific attacks, have +2 power. Mole Knight has an extra card. It's called a burrow. Not the donkey. It's like a hole in the ground. As an action, he can place it onto a space at range 3 from himself and then draw a card, so it's kind of like preparing, but it repositions the burrow. The burrow's effect says that when he initiates, he can choose to gain this before effect, which says if your burrow is unoccupied, move until you're in its base. This means that as long as the burrow is somewhere other than himself, he can... Teleport isn't quite the word, but, well, I guess the word is burrow, right? He can burrow to his burrow. Dig through the ground. Alright. Let's see. Petersonian going first. Yep, backstep, taking him to the wall. This makes sense. Obviously Vega wants the wall. He's got a bunch of specials that can hit pretty much the entire arena with one thing or another. Alright, Reggie opening with Key Charge. That's not the actual name of this boost, that's a reference to a Street Fighter boost. This says move up to 3, then if you're on your burrow, add this card to your gauge. However, since he's already on his burrow, he just moves 0, and then gains a gauge, making it functionally similar to the Street Fighter boost called Key Charge. Found on several different characters. Ryu, Ken, Zangief. Is that it? I feel like there's more. Alright, Vega boosting Mask, one of his so-called equipment boosts. It lets him sustain it during cleanup if he is not stunned during the strike. Meaning it can potentially stay in play forever as long as he doesn't get stunned. Note that you can be stunned even if you're faster than the opponents. If you don't stun them and then they hit you back, well, that still counts as damage and it still counts as stun. Alright, Mole Knight places his burrow, and then, let's see, overdraws to 8, means he needs to discard a card. Yeah, Mole Knight definitely prefers to go first, because if he does, he can place his burrow without having to worry about discarding cards and giving away information. Erupt, yeah, that makes sense. Erupt is not a threat for a little while here, so tossing copy does not really reduce his ability to run mix-ups. Mole Knight likes running win-ups, where there's just not much threat of him losing, but against Vega that's next to impossible. Alright, we have a strike from Vega. Telegraph is rolling Crystal Flash or Barcelona. Barcelona's probably unbeatable. Yep, it's Barcelona, hitting for 9. That is, sorry, 5 plus 2 plus 1. 8. There we go. Has before advanced as far as possible, then close 1. So he ends up here. Doesn't quite get to take the other corner, but it's close. Let's see, 2 force, 6 total armor, taking 2 damage. And then the question is, does Vega choose to pay a force to sustain his mastering cleanup? He does. This is awkward for Mole Knight. He wants to use his burrow to get closer, not farther away. So he's striking probably just... Yeah, he probably would have indicated the burrow in some way. Of course, we can't hear them, so if that happens audibly, there's no way to know. Anyway, he initiates. This is probably going to be the card formerly known as Wall Drive, the name of which I cannot remember. Where is it? Burrow Dig, excuse me. To let him take the corner so Vega can't. Oh, we have a critical. This feels like Pounce. It is a Grasp, and it is a Pounce. Alright, so critical Pounce has total of 3 armor, thanks to that Mask boost in play from earlier. And total of 6 power, again, thanks to the Mask boost. This is pretty bad for Mole, but he does get that 3rd gauge. He's looking for a total of 4 so that he can exceed. Mole Knight is often considered to have, like Season 1 characters, a mandatory exceed. There's a few characters in Season 1 for whom that's not quite true. But most of the time in Season 1, if you get 3 gauge, you just want to flip as soon as possible so that you can become terrifying. Mole Knight Exceed is a means of gaining +2 power, making it also functionally similar to Season 1 Exceeds. Alright, turn goes Petersonian. Note that Mole Knight pulled Vega out of the corner. Petersonian preps. This is interesting because it means that Vega can't just spin one force to retreat. However, Vega does have some boosts that let him cross over the opponent pretty efficiently. He apparently didn't have one just then, or he chose not to play it. Mole Knight is striking from Burrow, which means his effective speed is actually lower than usual. But it's going to be very hard for Vega to avoid him. So this could be something like a sweep or a focus to prevent Vega from using cross to retreat out of range. Alright, dive, calling the slow attack. It was a cross. Alright, the unsafe cross hits for 3, takes the corner, leaves the Burrow positioned next to Vega for an excellent follow-up. This positioning is very good for Mole Knight. It's not the worst for Vega, but it's very good for Mole Knight. Parrying. Looking for headbutt, probably. Alright, we have Assault, Grasp, Belly Slide. For those wondering why I said headbutt, headbutt is like the canonical play from this position, although typically Mole Knight would exceed first. Because he gets to come in at speed 6, very, very fast. Hits, and then this attack is like, in some ways, the quintessential Force special. It is so good, there's no way you could print this as a special without it costing Force. Well, not literally no way. Power budget's a thing, right? But it's exceptional. It just doesn't lose to things, especially if you can position it at range 2. Alright. Getting rid of that grasp to reduce the risk of reading, gaining before advance 2. Vega preps. And Mole Knight exceeds. Alright. Vega still has options, but things are looking better and better for Mole Knight. Now that he's in exceed mode, by the way, the only change there are 2 changes. The only changes are that when he places his burrow, it can be range 2, 3, or 4, making it much harder to lock him out of his burrow by moving onto it. Not a thing that Vega probably does, but a thing that some characters do. And now, if he moves into its space with the before effect, he gets +2 power. Alright, so he is choosing to use that, meaning he can hit with virtually anything he wants. What doesn't hit here? Nothing I can think of. Alright, Petersonian calling a fast card is incorrect, unfortunately. Going to come in at speed 6 because he had 4 spaces between him and the opponent. Deal only 1 damage, and then Mole Knight moves forward, advances back into the corner with this before effect, ordering those triggers for optimal value. So he gains the +2 power from the Burrow's effect, and then also he retakes the corner to keep Vega out of it. This is some very good Mole play, and some very good counter Vega play. Alright. Puts Vega in a really bad position, honestly. He would like to get Mole Knight out of the corner, but chances are that Mole Knight has a slow attack. That is 1 focus down, mind you. Still, a belly slide or a sweep would be just as bad. And even if Vega successfully lands a grasp and gets Mole Knight out of the corner, Mole Knight could probably just spin force move back into it. Alright, retreat up to 2, then strike. Danger step. Very good boost. Cost pounce, which is a good special. We have a spike, and a defensive wild swing that is going to be invalid. Cross, okay. Vega gets a little bit of value add. Hits for 5. The main value here is that he is now positioned on the burrow, so Mole Knight's going to probably have to take a turn to reposition it. He can't just swing for another +2 power on the immediate next turn. Yep, and he does. Burrow's now at range 1. Vega trying to look for a way to keep up the pressure without passing turn again. Unfortunately, he's going to have to. He prepares, and Mole Knight swinging from Burrow. Yep, this makes sense. Probably the fast play, and that is the call. It was not. It is an 8 power sweep. That is going to deal 6 damage after armor, crushing that focus and stunning. Whew, painful. Yep, that was a mix-up called wrong, and that levels out the life difference massively. Alright. Lights, and then tech. Pretty standard volley. Nobody wants their opponent to have +2 speed. Well, almost nobody. Arcune might not mind. Petersonian under pressure. He is in melee. If he has an assault at the ready, he would probably backstep to the corner. Now, Moon Knight is on his burrow, which means there's not a lot that he can do that gives him that +2 power bonus that he wants so much. He has Belly Slide, a special that has before advance 1 on it, and of course Dive, which has before advance 3 on it. But other than that, I don't think he has any way to take advantage of that burrow next turn. He will probably spend a turn repositioning it. Vega going to Exceed. This is reasonable. Vega's Exceed ability is very, very strong. It goes from just being +2 power for the specials and ultras to being +3 power and +1 speed. Of course, he will need to get back into the corner to make use of it. Alright, Moon Knight repositions the burrow to range 1 on the other side, making it not useful for threatening mix-ups, but still a decent way of getting value, and it also threatens Vega if Vega decides to retreat into the corner. Which it looks like he's either going to throw an EX or retreat to the corner, and he does! Alright, that's 3 force to retreat, so I'm going to move action. Pass the turn to Moon Knight, who is probably going to strike from burrow because that is the canonical play here. Without Gauge, Vega cannot play a critical Scarlet Terror, which is the only thing that would let him guarantee he goes first in this situation. Scarlet Terror is a speed 4 printed with a +2 speed crit, and because of Vega's Exceed ability, it would be speed 7. That is not online, although EX could still exist. Oh, tragic. So the headbutt here is probably unbeatable. Yep, that is a 6 power headbutt. I guess it's not strictly unbeatable. You could trade with it with a sweep, but whew, feels bad. Alright, Moon Knight hits for 6, gains advantage, and stuns. We know both copies of Pounce are down. Vega does not have Gauge to critical. That is 1 copy of Scarlet Terror, and of course no ultras are online because Vega has no Gauge. This is a bad position for Vega. Moon Knight going to backstep. Only a few spaces. He doesn't want to give Vega too much room to make an attack on his turn. Because of course if Moon Knight is trapped at long range and then Vega gets to attack, he might get a free hit in with another Barcelona. Alright, choose to reshuffle. Moon Knight again with initiative at range to use the burrow, possibly with the other headbutt if he has it. I've forgotten if we've already lost 1 copy. At the very least, Vega's under a lot of threat. Yep. Someone asked if this is huge Rain Moon Knight play in prediction or luck. I mean, this is very good Moon Knight play. Like, it's not bad Vega play, but Vega's losing mix-ups and Moon Knight's winning them. Draw for turn, there we go. Yep, boost Molten Armor. That is a +0 to 1 range boost. Also, if he gets hit, he deals non-lethal damage. This ensures that if you have an advantage in life, as he does right now, it is hard for the opponent to overturn it. Alright, Vega does choose to strike. This is interesting. He does have +3 power if it's a special or ultra, so there's still a decent amount of threatening options here. Notably Sky High Claw, if I remember the name correctly, could hit for 7. It is the extremely fast rolling Crystal Flash, and it's just a block. That's rather funny. Yeah, so this is a 6 power rolling Crystal Flash, which pushes 3, which again gives Moon Knight a decent position for follow-up on Moon Knight's turn. However, Vega now has Gauge, which is going to be very useful. Moon Knight deciding how much damage he wants to take. Spends 2 force, takes nothing, deals 2. You don't every day see somebody out-trading by playing block. But there it is. That's our Moon Knight. Moon Knight chooses to reposition the burrow instead of following up, because he did not have a melee attack that he wanted to play with in the next turn. Petersonian choosing to boost Claw, +0 to 1 range, and your attacks are critical. This is an excellent boost. Fairly expensive, of course, and he can only sustain it if he's not stunned, and it still costs force, just like the other equipment boost. Alright, Moon Knight using the burrow. Very much telegraphing a fast attack, which Vega can't do much to outspeed. Even only Crystal Flash from here would only be speed 5. Vega's probably going to have to call fast or slow, and then he'll have to decide if he thinks he has a card in hand that can deal with it, or if he just wild swings and hopes for the best. Lethal is being threatened by a wide variety of options here. Petersonian reviewing Moon Knight's discards. It's a decent amount of information. There's only 11 on Moon Knight cards left, because there are 17 in discard and 2 in Gauge. Incidentally, I will not be jumping into correct if Petersonian spins Gauge to crit this, because even though that is clearly a misplay, it is perfectly legal. Okay. Speed 6 cross is reasonable. Alright, that will save Vega. Oh, that's actually super good for Vega. Oh, that's really scary. Alright, probably going to pay a force to sustain that claw, but it depends what he has in hand. Alright, so Vega being faster retreats 3, gets to the corner, Mole Knight advances to midboard, is standing on his burrow, but basically the worst place he can be. Vega's at the corner, the best place he can be. Claw is up, and he has Gauge to boots. Vega, starved for resources, as always, prepares. Mole Knight resets his burrow. Alright, Vega has this turn to make a huge, huge difference. If he isn't able to do it, Mole Knight will just bring the pressure back on, going back into melee, probably be able to kill Vega another turn or two. Petersonian checking discards, looking for what threats are left to deal with things. Might be able to set up a checkmate here. Exceeded Vega is very good at that sort of thing. Something like Flying Barcelona would be a speed 4 attack that deals 10 damage at this position. Might be considering reading. I think we still have a focus live on Vega's side. Maybe two. I haven't been counting. Striking. 1 card. It's automatically critical, and he has plus 0 to 1 range. Mole Knight plays the focus. Oh, it is Scarlet Terror. That is the fast option. It's going to close and hit for 6. Close 2, I believe. Then gets hit back for 4. He is stunned. He cannot sustain his boost. And Mole Knight has a turn to follow up. It does go to Gauge, though, because he hit. Yep, got it. Alright, Mole Knight draws for his after and focus, is now striking from Burrow, probably again with the Speed 7 or just a Grasp. This is going to be very, very hard to survive. I think Vega just needs a block. Like, this notably cannot be an Ignore Armor card, or at least if it is, it can't hit. Because the only Ignore Armor option Mole Knight has is Spike, and moving to the Burrow means that he'd be at range 1 and miss. If only that had been the Flying Barcelona, would have been 10 damage. Alright, we have a crit, dive. Nope, that is the Speed 7. Alright, 5 power, hits, draws a card, advances, and wins the game. That's round 1. Alright, Mole Knight is out of the running. The remaining characters are, let's see. On Reggie's side, Platinum the Trinity from Season 5, and Clover from Season 5. On Petersonian's side, we have, well, all 3 still available, of course. So that means Vega from Season 3, Luciya from Season 2, New 13 from Season 5. Alright. So, between Platinum and Clover, and then between Vega, Luciya, and New 13, you get the impression Petersonian might like characters with movements. I'm starting to. Alright, players are using the hidden selection areas to secretly choose their characters. As described, they place, let's see, they are currently on 4, 5, and 6, technically, because they know each other's teams. I am apparently switching sides. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. What have we got? Alright, we have New versus Platinum. Alright, this should be interesting. If you're excited to see Season 5 play, this will be a good place to do it. These were these two players... Well, I should put it this way. These folks have played a lot of Season 5. Both Petersonian and Reggie were on the Season 5 strike team. They assisted significantly during the design and development phases. Petersonian played a lot of New. I think New was his actual #1 favorite. Certainly one of his 2 most played characters. And Reggie played a lot of Platinum. Also one of his top 2 in the set, if I recall correctly. The other one being Clover, who is of course the 3rd member of his tournament team. No surprise there. Alright, New is going first. This should be interesting. New striking and spending, yep. Probably a grasp or a cross, those are the standard plays. It is a cross. Alright, you still get value there. Focus does counter the grasp, in the sense that you cannot be moved. And of course you get a card back and you have some armor. So at least cross was not denied its value. Interesting. Platinum chose not to use her character ability? Might still be deciding based on the results of that after effect. We'll see in a second. Depends on if she makes another play from hands. She is playing from hands. She did not use her cleanup effect. That's quite interesting. Advances 3. If that was not an oversight, if that was a deliberate decision, it's probably because she's trying to avoid accidentally pulling this boost, Magical Missile, since a before retreat effects can be catastrophic against a character as good at range as New 13. Curious. Hard to say. Moving in, of course, makes perfect sense. New is the keep away character. She's not the only zoner in the game, far from it, but she has an exceptionally good character ability which lets all of her normals function at extreme range. Alright, New initiates with assaults. Comes into range 1, stuns. Comes into range 1. Did I miss something? Alright. Occasionally, Tabletop Sim does not correctly update character positions. So, I did not see the card move, but they did. Alright, Platinum defended on curve and was stunned out. Used the character ability, discarded across it, didn't have the continuous boost. New follows up with Grasp, puts Platinum to range. Platinum takes the 1, gets the gauge, uses the character ability, plus 2 speed. That is a good boost. For those not familiar with what exactly is going on, Platinum's character ability gives her a cleanup effect. Cleanup happens at the end of strikes, not on other turns. That lets her reveal the top card of her deck, and if it has a continuous boost, put it into play. It is in sustains, meaning it's not discarded at the end of the strike, because otherwise it would be. Oh my gosh. Defending on curve. Saves the day again. Super Rage at speed 5. Lets New outspeed Platinum's Dramatic Sammy, a very, very cheeky move. This is speed 4 at range 3, meaning it is under curve. Under the speed curve, that is to say it's a mid-speed, an unsafe attack. However, if that thing had landed, it would be incredibly punishing. She would be at range 1, with advantage, with plus 2 speed, and possibly another boost, thanks to her character ability. Alright, New is exceeding. She has when you exceed, draw a card, so she draws a total of 2 here. Her exceed ability gives all of her attacks this, tons of extra range, without the minimum range, and without having to pay the cost. Let's see, at Overdrive she will retreat to range 5, because her Overdrive effect is retreat 1. It's going to happen when she discards a card from Overdrive, yep. It is notably mandatory. It doesn't say retreat up to 1. But she don't mind. Alright, choosing to initiate. They are at range 5, meaning literally everything hits. Alright, it is Sword Summoner for 5 power, which over 1 armor does break the guard of 3, dealing 4 damage. Whew. And then does draw a card. Yep, Platinum Mario choosing to use that cleanup trigger, plus 2 armor. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Alright. Mystic Momo getting stunned, did not have a chance to do anything. Tragic. Alright, it is now Platinum's turn. Very, very thin on resources here. Yep, chooses to prep. New backs up. Still in Exceed mode. At range 6, Platinum can do literally nothing, so this is pretty much going to be a free hit. That is invalid. Alright, it's cross. Only going to deal 1 damage, but might still stun. Oh my goodness, that is both Cured Out Typhoons in the discard pile. Alright, 1 damage is enough to stun the dive. And it gets rid of that boost, which is definitely valuable. Platinum deciding whether or not to use that cleanup trigger. Actually seems to reconsider. Oh, funnily enough, so New has this hit effect that she hasn't been using, but if she had chosen to advance, then she'd retreat anyway, so it doesn't matter. Oh no, there it is. Yep. Platinum might want to tech her own boost if she has a dive on hands. This is very, very awkward. Probably, yep, there you go, advancing 4. There's no way you can afford to sit at long range there. Alright, New flips back. And here we go, she's at range 2. She's down 2 speed, but Platinum will have to retreat if she doesn't get the Mystic Momo, that is. The importance of Mystic Momo, to be clear, is that as a before effect, she can discard one of her continuous boosts. This means that she could as a before effect, discard this boost, and then not have this retreat effect, thereby eliminating the drawback. New exceeds again without hesitation. Alright, Platinum, still shy on resources, prepares. Getting ready to survive another onslaught of Exceed mode new. Alright, new discards a card from Overdrive. She obviously is at the wall, so retreating does nothing. Looking through this discard, it's probably looking for a reading punish, or maybe just seeing if what exactly she needs to be afraid of. Mystique Momo and, let's see, Dive, and Mommy Circular, I believe, are the plays which Platinum can hit with. Oh, actually, and Dream Sally. Yeah, Platinum has a lot of things that hit here. Interesting. Almost all of them still require her to retreat, but Dive and Mystique Momo, Dive and Mommy Circular and Mystique Momo can all prevent her from being too far away. Mommy Circular and Dive both end at range 1. Mommy Circular is speed 7, putting it above curve. Dive is speed 6, putting it on curve. Yeah, Platinum's got plays. She's in decent shape. Alright, Petersonian counting those cards carefully, deciding on his play. First turn of his Exceed mode, doesn't want to waste it. New's character ability is great at getting her out of the corner, but if you can't reliably outspeed your opponent, it's hard to do that. We have a reading. Failed. Alright. We do have the Mommy Circular and the Dream Sally, so Platinum has two cards that both could work here. Mommy Circular virtually guaranteed to hit, however, won't necessarily stun. Dive. Okay, yeah. Mommy Circular retreats, then advances. Yep, there you go. Hits for 4. Very good for Platinum. Does get rid of that boost, though, but we'll see what Platinum boosts in its stead. Uh-oh. Well, that is not a great boost, considering this hands. Looks like she's considering striking? If so, it highly telegraphs that Dream Sally. Nope, okay, Platinum prepares. Alright. New discards, can't retreat. Probably wants to strike again to use that Exceed ability to make some space, because that is real value, and she is missing out on it. If she gets pressed in the corner, she could lose this life advantage in a hurry. She prepares. Alright, we have a before pull 2 effect. Okay, so that's again setting up the Dream Sally. Alright, New's turn begins. She discards her last card from Overdrive, performs her Overdrive effect, which again does nothing, and then flips back. Yeah, that second Overdrive, Platinum managed to shut down pretty handily. Alright, we have 4 force to change to... Oh, excuse me. Boosting counter assault. Sure. If opponents at range 1, push 3 and draw 2. Yeah. Alright. And then drawing for an turn. We have a reading. Platinum reading and then striking. Calls Spike, plays... Dream Sally. Alright, Spike is faster and misses. Then gets pulled in. And takes 5 because of this hit effect on Dream Sally. That is a speed 0 Dream Sally. You don't see attacks that slow every day. Alright, and there's this cursed boost again. Probably not what Platinum wanted, but it's what she's got. Oh, man. Betting it's a... Yep. TTS glitch. Alright. Alright, Petersonian's turn, trying to decide how to deal with the situation. New is now under a good bit of pressure. She got a hefty life lead, but Platinum started to make up for it with mid-game momentum. believe it's Petersonian's turn. Nude's under a decent amount of pressure here, though. Makes sense to take a little bit of time, think things through. What do we got? Alright, the opponent cannot move. Yep. Gravity Seed. Alright, Ghost Gate at the start of her turn, gets her some much needed resources. Platinum takes turn to prep, getting her some much needed resources. With permission from the opponent, Platinum checks the last card in her deck. This is because she could simply count her discard pile and determine what it is without needing to peek. This is a common courtesy in casual play. It's not actually that common in tournaments, but these players, well, are both happy to save time. New preps. Pass turn back to Platinum. Platinum has 5 cards total remaining. Reduce the Fierce. Draws the last card. Probably going to tip the hand as a courtesy as well. Also very common. This is not a rule, to be clear, for those not familiar. This is simply to save the opponent time. 0245. Since, generally, in high-level play, people want to figure out exactly what cards are left if they are completely deducible. Which they are. So you either sit down and count the opponent's discard pile, and then make notes and figure out what's left, or the opponent can save that trouble by tipping their hands. Not required, not a rule, but happens a good amount. I'm not sure, even if there is a reading, that there is a decent... Okay, here we go. Opponent cannot move. That's kind of funny. I guess it makes sense, considering the only thing on the hand that hits without moving is the sweep. Alright, we have a big CC here. That is CC 6, drawing a total 7. Resets the situation for Platinum. Nude does get a gauge out of that. That is unfortunately both copies of Sword Dance, which is generally a pretty decent attack. Always had to see it go. However... 2 cards in gauge, almost enough resources to exceed again or to threaten Calamity Sword. She backsteps, alright, she's at range 4. This basically compels Platinum to move forward. Or I guess you could play Mystique Momo, but then you're still stuck at range. Runs in, yep, makes sense. New not happy to be here. Normally would just run or air dash out of the corner. May not have those options available. Prepares. Oh my, this gets more exciting by the minute. That is Cat Hammer. As well, technically magical Cat Hammer. +1 and 2 range, +1 speed. Tech, okay, tech's... Oh, that's good. Tech to get rid of Magical Missile means that Platinum no longer has the retreat effect, so she needs to force herself to back up in order to be able to hit with Cat Hammer, since otherwise there's no way for her to hit. Alright, new boost lights, so now she is up 1 speed, however Platinum is up on range, because ironically enough, right now Platinum's range is better than New's. Alright. Platinum initiating. She's in a pretty good situation. She is down 1 speed, but as I said, she's up effective speed because she has better range at the moment. New does not have her Ultra online. Counting cards to determine what her threats are, which is basically everything. After all, Platinum did just reshuffle. She's only got 3 cards in discard. This is game 2 of the set, so Petersonian needs to win this with new. Calling Spike and to Grasp. That is unfortunate. No doubt trying to call out Dramatic Sammy. Instead gets hit for 5 and stuns. The question then is, push or pull? Apparently Platinum chose to push her, keep her at range 3. Uses her character ability, and unfortunately does not get a continuous boost. So we are reset to neutral. Life is even. New is up 1 gauge. It is New's turn. She's down a card in hands. And notably she has not yet reshuffled, whereas Platinum has. He's going to have to win some mix-ups to get out of the corner here. Initiates. The danger of initiating to Platinum is that she can use her ability regardless of who initiates the strike. Which means at the end of the strike, regardless of how the strike goes, Platinum may have a boost in play ready for her to take advantage of on her turn. Alright, Super H, yep, this is just an on-curve push 1, makes sense. It's actually an on-curve option that beats Sweep and Focus, so it tends to be very good. Platinum perfectly prepared to just run back in, also decided not to boost this turn. Interesting. Alright, new boost and counter assault probably? Yep, there you go. Push 3 and draw 2. Let me zoom that just a little bit longer. Alright. Presumably Platinum does not have the other cross, or she would just jump back in. She'll probably still feel the need to move forward. Oh, no, here we go. Cat Hammer. Alright. Does not quite put her on the same level as New here. However, if both of New's grasps are down, which I have not been counting, but I think there's a chance of that. Okay, here we go. Reshuffle action. Yep. Let's see. 2 cards left in deck. 4 cards in hand. Alright. No, not a reshuffle action, apparently. What? This is some unconventional nonsense. It appears that Petersonian is making a copy of all of his remaining cards and then putting back those 2. Yeah, the hand never shuffled, so we ourselves can track that that was indeed the remaining cards in deck. Funnily enough, he never shuffled those 6 cards, but we'll just ignore that. I guess if you want to tell your opponent what's in your hand, you can do so. At least I don't think he shuffled them. Alright, and then we have an end of turn, pick up the Astral instead of drawing, of course. I'm assuming he did that correctly because I don't see the Astral. I was not paying attention. Remaining cards do not include any grasps, so yeah, makes sense. Unknowable game state. That's not quite right. Alright, Reggie with Platinum initiating with an EX attack here. Heavily telegraphs an assault, but, you know, doesn't have to be. Actually, no, wait, we dropped an assault. Yeah, he dropped an assault earlier. Okay, so it could be Spike, could be Dramatic Sammy. Dramatic Sammy would be a great play if it works. Oh, sorry, to answer the question being asked in the stream here. When Hakumen, when you pick up your Astral Heat, it does replace your end of turn draw. However, you're still performing your draw step. So in the case of Hakumen, who adds the top card of his deck to his gauge at the end of each of his turns after his draw, he still does that. Because that is after, like, essentially that is at the end of his draw step. So even though you are doing something other than drawing the top card of your deck, you are still, like, going through that process as normal. Likewise, if you have 7 cards in hand, reshuffle, pick up your Astral, you will then have to discard a card, because you are still going through your draw step, meaning your hand size is checked. It might be helpful to think of it as, instead of drawing the top card of your deck, you just draw the Astral. because it is functionally very much like an end-of-turn draw. Hopefully that helps. Alright, players are counting cards, trying to figure out, well, specifically Petersonian is counting cards. 7 cards down does give some information now as far as what EXs are up in particular. Like I said, I think we know the Assault isn't. Range 4 is pretty scary, though. What's the worst case? It's hard to say what the worst case is, actually. However, we know that the fastest thing that she could throw would be a speed... I think the fastest thing she could throw, I don't know for sure, would be a speed 7 Mystique Momo, because the EX and then the +1 speed boost. Which would only hit for 5, but would outspeed any potential response. What do we see here? We know it's definitely not an Astral on Astral, excuse me, an Ultra. It's definitely not the Astral. An Ultra on Platinum side, because only 2 gauge, and the 2 gauge Ultra is this one. Platinum's other Ultra is 4 gauge, which he is not particularly close to affording. Petersonian probably going to Wild Swing based on the way he's hovering that deck. Might spend Force on his character ability. We'll see. Alright, block, hoping it's not Dramatic Sammy. It's Spike, which is not quite Dramatic Sammy, but still pretty rough. Alright, that'll hit for 6, destroying the block. Platinum choosing whether or not to use her ability. Does so. The -1 speed and +5 guard. Alright. There's worse and there's better. It is now, I believe, New's turn. That is both copies of Spike, however, Platinum has access to Dramatic Sammy, which is very much a Spike-alike. Is that it? No. That's it. Very, very unsafe, but very, very punishing. Probably still less punishing than Color Spray, but as command grabs go, it's a very good one. Probably still less safe than Color Spray too, actually. Alright, New initiating, decides not to spin Force, so Sickle Storm or the Ultra. Wins the speed tie, does 4 damage, does not stun. Probably going to push too, I mean, otherwise you get hit, right? So, let me just look at that card a little bit longer. And then the response was Memi Circular with -1 speed and +5 guard. Alright, Platinum's ability flips a Focus. Platinum prepares. New's turn. They're at range 3. New actually kind of has the advantage here. New is threatening Calamity Sword. Platinum does not have any threat that is strong enough to deal with Calamity Sword. At best, she could play a sweep and trade into it. So as long as that option is live, well, it's more of a Sword of Damocles than a Sword of Calamity. We might also see the completely insane option of her advancing to range 1, because if I recall correctly, there's another sword that is still live. At any time, though, New, well, not at any time, but as an action, New could, of course, boost that card. Alright, boosting lights, try for turn. That's always good. Alright, Dream Sally, yep, After Effects. This is pretty good. Alright, we are going to see the Exceed, apparently. So currently turning off the threat of that Ultra, however, +2 speed does make this still pretty good for New. She now has extra range and everything. Alright, Platinum moving into range 1. This is very dangerous, since New has the speed and the range to hit with almost anything, and to advance 3 on as a hit effect. So New's Cross, for example, could take her to range 1, 2, 5? Yeah, 5. One Dream Sally is down, the other might remain. I guess that does mean Dream Sally is actually still a decent counter to cross specifically. Loses to dive though, and dive does hit because again, news range is pretty much yes. News range is probably. If you have to ask if news in range, the answer is probably yes. Alright, Petersonian checking that discard pile again. Probably going to strike because you want to get some value here. And +2 speed again, very likely to. Oh, I can't count. It would be range 6. Thank you. 1, 2, 3 on hit. Then retreat 3. Yes. Alright, never mind. Dream Sally is not a counter. Cross is actually unbeatable. We are looking at a potential reading play. But maybe reconsidering to pull that back real quick. Still with the reading. But hasn't actually played an attack yet. This is very tense. Oh, looks like taking back that play entirely, maybe. That is itself dangerous, just letting your opponent know you have a focus in hand. Alright, we have a burst. Okay, we are dropping that Sword of Destruction to play the boost. Draw 2, seal this, take another action. Same boost that is on every Astral. Well, that is a good way to swing momentum. That is exactly what New needs right now. Yep, there's the air dash, advance 3. Cool, establish some distance, and you're still holding the threat of that +2 speed over the opponent. It is Platinum's turn. Advancing 2, yep, makes sense. Makes sure that she will be at range 2 at maximum at the start of New's turn because of that overdrive effect. It is now New's turn. She has +2 speed. How will she use it? Striking, alright. This could be anything from Spike to Cross to Sword Dance. It is merely a grasp. Okay. She pushes 2, deals only 1 damage. Probably chooses not to advance. That would be my guess anyway. Seems that way. And then, as an after effect, Platinum must draw a card and put her attack on top of her deck. She then chooses to use her character ability, which is a cleanup effect, to then play this boost on this attack that she put on top of her deck. Does a little bit of an elaborate maneuver. Wait, what was that? Discard for? I think Platinum's in the middle of deciding what force to pay on a force cost. But yeah, the effective use of Magical Boomerang, which is the boost on Dream Sally, is invaluable to the experienced Platinum player, but also tends to take some work to get used to. Alright, so Platinum does close to range 1, pays total 3 force. New needs to back up using her overdrive effects, and then she will flip back to normal mode. Unfortunately, not a lot of value out of that. Not sure if that exceed was entirely worth it. Guess we'll find out soon. Okay, caught it. And flips back. Okay, good. And draws... Excuse me? Draws a single card? Ah. Okay. I'm going to assume that Petersonian had the opponent's permission to take back that end of turn draw, since that effectively means a CC0 action, change card 0. However, clearly did not mean to do that, but forgot to take an action. This happens. Alright, we have a strike from hands with... Oh, this is pretty good. So speed 4, Sickle Storm, no character ability applied. Would push, but can't. However, then focus, it was actually going to retreat because of the magic missiles before effect. Platinum is starting to run out of damage. And also movement. Like many rushdown characters, when played as a rushdown character, Platinum can run out of tools before her opponent runs out of... Sorry, run out of cards before her opponent runs out of life if her opponent is good at running away. And New is one of the best at it. So Platinum has a grand total of 5 cards left. If New is very, very careful, she might be able to find answers to all of them. Or maybe not. Depends what the 5 cards are. I haven't been counting. However, New is nowhere close to deck out. Yet notably, this is an example of a game where exhaustion is playing a huge factor, but it doesn't mean that Platinum's going to deck out. It might just mean that because she only has 5 cards left, New can play things that beat all of her options. We have a Change Cards 3. Yep, looking to dig deeper into that deck. Alright, Platinum strikes. She doesn't have much choice here, honestly. She could boost, but it's very dangerous. I think if there is a Calamity Sword, we just see a Calamity Sword drop, although if there's a sweep, then maybe not. Hard to say. I myself do not know what's left. It appears that Reggie is, with his bonus permission, searching the deck, and then we'll report the contents and shuffle. Then shuffle? Then what's happening? I am confused. Ah. Okay, the same maneuver as before. Alright. Petersonian is explaining the methodology of combining all available cards, then copying a deck. Alright. I didn't fully understand what I just saw, but I will trust the players at their word. For a second, I definitely thought that was a scoop, but like it wasn't very dramatic for a scoop. Scoop is a nickname for a concession, by the way. So here are our remaining cards. Mystic Momo, there is a sweep. Block, Dream Sally. There's another sweep. Okay, the damage is here then. Yeah, covering the sweep. Yep. Yep, this makes sense. Actually, I think it's covered everything. Yeah, at worst you trade with the Mystic Momo. Yeah, Spike is correct. Alright, well in that case, I'm pretty sure Reggie's just dead, although if he uses his character ability, he might get a boost out. That could change the math. Appears to be choosing not to use it. And Petersonian striking. Alright, well this probably just kills through everything, except for block. Maybe even including block. I do not like Platinum's odds here. Oh yeah, that's the sword. Yep, drop a sword on him, that's the way to go. And yeah, that would have killed through everything since the block was in hand. There was no way to have enough force to pay for it. Well, actually, sorry, that doesn't... That does kill, yeah, I can do math. Yep, we're good. Whew! What a tense game, too. Very exciting. Alright. Well, New is out, and Mole Knight is out. So that leaves Reggie's Platinum or Carl Clover, both from Season 5, plays blue, into Petersonian's Luciya or Vega from Seasons 2, 7th Cross, and 3, Street Fighter, respectively. Ooh boy. This is going to be exciting. The tension is killing me. I hope it'll last. A quick reminder, I've been streaming for almost an hour. If you've been watching and you haven't been drinking water, drink more water. It's good for you. I have no idea what this third matchup is going to be. They've both played their strongest character on their team. Mole Knight is... well, okay, the characters that I perceive to be the strongest. Obviously, they could have their own opinions, and there are matchup considerations afoot. Oh. Thank you for the follow in the Book of Life. Guess that's going on the tournament record, because I haven't bothered to change my streaming layout for tournament games. Oh well. Hoping to see Carl, we don't know for sure. It's either going to be Carl Clover or Platinum, so what do you think? The Trinity or C2? Or CC or EXC? Ah, that one sounds terrible. Okay. Platinum the Trinity into Luciya. Well, we're gonna have shenanigans here. The good news is, if you've been watching so far, or if you're watching this video later on, you will have seen each of these characters already. The better news is, this time I might remember to hover on some of these cards that you've never seen before, or that you didn't have enough time to see the first time. If you are watching this live, please mention if you don't know what something does, or if you just want to see it for a little bit longer, because I am often inattentive to such things. Well, as loser of the previous game, Reggie chooses who will go first. Chooses to go first, of course. That makes sense. Platinum tends to be... well, Reggie's Platinum in particular tends to be an aggressive character. Mulligan. I'm a little late pointing this out, but if you're not familiar with Exceeds Mulligan, you set the cards aside face down, draw replacements, and then shuffle them back. Your opponent does not know what you mulligan, but they do know how many. It sounds like we're making a big fuss over a very small deal, but if you're used to Season 2, mulligan can actually matter quite a lot. Yes. Alright, here we go. Cat Hammer, turn 1. That's quite good. Opponent cannot move. This boost telegraphs Firefly Gunner, an attack which becomes unbeatable if this boost is in play at range 3 or 4. Well, not strictly unbeatable, but unbeatable by most characters. For those wondering what just happened, sorry, I should have zoomed this a little bit longer once again. Chain Trap provides the opponent with a new action, which is an interesting little effect. So, Platinum chose to spend 2 force to add Chain Trap to Luciya's gauge. Talk about value. We have a potential EX attack here. Nope. The Whirlwinds, +3 speed. That's pretty terrifying. Defend, okay. Tied a little boost for. Now we have an EX attack. This telegraphs Bug Zapper. This would be an unbeatable Bug Zapper. It is Dive. It is Assault. That is awkward, actually. Okay. Alright, so the Speed 6 Assault loses out to the Speed 8 Dive. There we go. Luciya actually does care about the order of her discard pile, so I'll step in to correct that. Platinum doesn't care about her own discard at all, actually. Well, sorry, doesn't care about her own discard order. Does care about the contents. Alright, Platinum uses her character ability, gets the Magical Bomb, which is a +2 power boost that only works if you are at range 2 at some point during the hit effect timing. I said that a little bit weirdly. It is a hit effect, which you can only activate if you're at range 2. So, if you play Grasp, you can push 1 and then activate it, for example. Luciya boost defends. I don't normally think of Luciya as a boost character, but we are seeing some pretty intense boost wars already. Pico Hammer being the other boost that Platinum has in play, +2 armor and then a hit effect, which, oh, okay, so +2 armor and +2 power, because defend in play means that Pico Hammer just works. That's real good. Looks like Luciya is trying to figure out how to defuse the situation. Because, yeah, she is up against decent amount of stats. She has an advantage right now, but not a very strong one. And the next strike could very easily overturn that, because Platinum probably has the edge in the current boost war. It's not completely clear, but it seems likely. Petersonian firmly convinced that he has the advantage. Petersonian is a teacher by profession and has been encouraged by his wife, thereby giving him a solid advantage. Unfortunately, apparently Teacher Appreciation Week is an American creation and therefore does not apply to Reggie, for those who are not currently reading the text. Just some banter between the players. I appreciate them. Actually, I will type that out. I appreciate being dealt in on the banter, since I can't hear it. Alright, more boosts. That is +2 speed before retreat 2. Go on magical missile. Paying force to do something. Okay, choosing to retreat. Alright, makes sense, but interesting. Chain climb. Move as far as possible if you move past the opponents out of your gauge. She did not move past the opponents. The typical play here is Luciya is to cross up the opponent with it so that you can deal a point of damage with your character ability, which is this. Get an extra gauge, and then gain that boost as gauge. So she loses out on a lot of value by doing this. On the other hand, she also gets out of dodge, because she's trying not to explode against Platinum's next attack. That is the second copy of Dramatic Sammy going down, and that is the second copy of Miracle Gene going down. Platinum pretty determined to win this next strike pretty thoroughly. With the Retreat 2 in play, however, she only has Mystique Momo to threaten, I believe. Luciya striking. No? Spending. Excuse me. 3. Oh, the other chain climb. 2 force to boost the other chain climb. Okay, there we go. Deals 1 damage, gains the gauge from the top of her discard pile for her character ability, and then adds chain climb to her gauge. Alright. Yeah, she's at range 5, so this still works. Platinum boosts Fierce, confident that she can get a payout. Luciya preps. This is almost certainly the Speed 7 Mystique Momo that is unbeatable and will deal 8 damage. Well, it will have 8 power. It's not unoutspeedable, as it were. However, you would need EX Ride the Lightning to stun it, and we know that's unavailable. Yep, here we go. Alright. So as a before effect, she can discard 1 of her continuous boost to gain +2 power. So that's 2, 4, then 6, 8. Doesn't ignore armor or guard though. So currently it is dealing 5 damage, which doesn't break guard. Petersonian may spend force for extra armor per the effect on block. Deciding what force to spend. Okay, paid 1 from gauge, 1 from hands. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. Minus 3. Okay, there we go. They took the 1. Alright. We're good. Platinum's character ability kicks in, uses, plays this magical boomerang after drawing that returning attack to top your deck. Okay. Petersonian prepares. I will try to adjust my mic, but the things that I have done thus far have not been successful. We have a reading assault, which is successful. Hits Dream Sally. Well, sorry, doesn't hit, but rather walks into the range of Dream Sally, which gets the extra +2 power because of that movement. And then the after effect on Dream Sally puts Dream Sally on top of Platinum's deck, because it was the other copy. And then she chooses to use her character ability to put it into play. Neat. Meanwhile, Luciya boosts light. Back to Platinum. Platinum prepares. And Luciya strikes. She has +2 speed, so that's a hefty advantage. I think both copies of Dive are down, which would normally be the Telegraph. Spike is also a perfectly viable play here. Bug Zapper, I guess. Manta Strike? Yeah, a lot of options. Manta Strike. Wins the speed tie. Yep. So pulls 2, deals 4+1 because of the character ability. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, there we go. Adds Assault to gauge. And Luciya now has a transformation. This is the one where you can move 1 by spending 2 force when you initiate a strike. Alright, Platinum uses her character ability, gets light into play. That's pretty good. It is now Platinum's turn. She has +2 speed, and she's at range 4. Paying 2 force, excuse me. Move into range 2. Commonly considered Luciya's least favorite range, and also, since it's not range 1, makes you pretty threatening with lights. Of course, even at range 1, Platinum, because she has Dramatic Sammy in her kick, is normally pretty threatening, but I'm pretty sure both copies of Dramatic Sammy are down. Luciya boosts defends, Platinum strikes. This very much feels like Spike. It's Dive, just about as good. Deals 5 - 1 equals 4, and stuns, yeah. Discard order. Cool. Platinum's character ability plays Magical Dormimi Box before pull 2. That's nice. Alright, we are apparently seeing a... okay, so Luciya is using the action to discard a card with the transformation to transform the other copy from hand. Whoops. So she now has Grandstanding in play. This action is commonly referred to as EX Transform, even though it does not have a formal name. Grandstanding is when you set your attack, meaning it works on offense and on defense if she so chooses, unlike her other transform, which only says when you initiate. Let's just spend force to give both players power. Looks like she's considering whether it's worth exceeding now just for the reload. Each transformation in play reduces her exceed cost by 2. It is normally a cost of 5, so she could pay 1 gauge and flip right now if she wanted. Notably, Luciya has the same kicker as Sea Viper, if I recall correctly, which is when you exceed, draw 5 cards. She dies, but is reborn. That makes it an excellent reload. Oh, there is a part before that, which is add your hand to your gauge. Right now it's not super relevant, but if you exceed with the full hand, then you'll dump it into your gauge and restock. That would be the dying part. And there's the reborn part. More of a phoenix than a thunderbird if you think about it that way. Oh well. Alright, Luciya is now the Thunderbird. Her ability has changed completely. Let's see, it looks like Platinum is armoring up, boost defends. So the Thunderbird's ability is that when she spins a card from Gauge, whether that's as Gauge or as Force, it enters play as a face-down continuous boost that reads +1 power. So whenever she spins Gauge for any reason, it becomes power. Those are still considered boosts, though, so they will still leave play at the end of a strike, so they're only good for one use. Alright, Thunderbird backs up, Threatening Skies of Flame. Platinum runs in, again, restoring range 2. With before pull 2. Interesting. Both players are very deep in their decks. There's a lot of information in that hands. Petersonian checking discards. Take some time and think about your favorite cards. We'll wait. This game is very, very close. Players progressing through the deck at comparable rates, considering the seed in particular. This duration of checking discards implies trying to determine all 8 remaining cards with certainty, and possibly setting up a reading. Interestingly, reading does actually combo with the when you initiate a strike. It resolves as following. You would name a normal, then you are considered to be initiating a strike. Focus is discarded, then you may spend 2 force if you do move 1. Then, of course, you may spend 1 force on grandstanding, and then finally you actually set your attack. Took you long enough. After all of that, the opponents will then either reveal a hand that doesn't contain that normal or set that normal. This does mean you will have to make all of your relevant decisions before you know if your reading worked or not. Too bad for you. Just get it right. Won't be a problem. Luciya card flip. Striking. And are we going to see any abilities? It seems not. Looking over those transformations, deciding... Oh, I am mistaken. We have a total of 3 force being spent, moving in 1, using Storm's Fury, and both players have +1 power. Interesting. The Telegraph is now Bug Zapper, which feels immensely unsafe. Oh, it's just Grasp. Huh. Well, that is a 7 power Grasp. Yikes. Three plus Yeah, I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, pretty sure. Alright, that dive got stuns by a significant margin. At the end of that strike, Platinum boosted Magical Bats, and now on Platinum's turn boosts Cat Hammer, balancing out the speed and granting a total stat modifier of +1 to range and +5 guard. Seven power grasp. Whew. Alright, it appears that they are trying to, again, perform some shenanigans related to, providing copies of things. Well, if the opponent clears it, I suppose I have no reason to raise an objection. For those watching in general, I would encourage you to be a bit more cautious. If you feel the need to provide a copy of things for the opponent's reference, at most, copy your deck, paste it behind you, flip your hand face down, copy it, paste it behind you, group the copies, shuffle that and hand it over. Personally, I prefer not to, but if you must, do it in a way that's easily trackable. And of course doesn't reveal information. Oh, and if you play Aracune, don't do that in the first place, because you probably have face-down cards in your sealed area. Alright. Time for Luciya to figure out what to do next. They are neutral on speed. Traditionally, this is where you would see a Skies of Flame, or possibly a preemptive. Could also be a good time for a downburst. Well, no, sorry, downburst won't stun, because Platinum has +5 guard. I guess we can take a look at the remaining cards on Platinum's side, since they have been provided. We have a Grasp, a Block, a Sweep, and an Assault. Well, that's a bunch of normals. So that's 0, 2, 5, and 7. Alright, so 0, 2, 5, 7. Oops, sorry. 0, 2, 5, and 7. The Grasp is actually decent. That's probably the thing to be worried about, because there's a range 2 to 3 Grasp live right now. We have a reading, hoping that the card being called is not the one left in deck, and then deciding before setting, as I described previously, which transformations, if any, to use. Alright, that is a grandstanding. Calling Grasp, so Ride the Lightning, yep. Ride the Lightning and what, Firefly Gunner are the only things that beat the Grasp here. Alright, so that costs 2 gauge, but has 1, 2, 3, 4, so 5? Yeah, 1 plus 4 is 5, right? Power, so it doesn't stun. So it's 3 from the gauge, 4 because of grandstanding, and then 5 because the last one is printed. Alright. Yeah, that's what I got to. Alright, Platinum is not stunned, but she misses because of her minimum range. And then she chooses to Wild Boost, apparently, just to get rid of that Assault. We can safely assume Reggie knew that the last card was an Assault and just wanted to get it out of the way to avoid risk of future readings. Probably going to see a change cards here. Yep, change cards 4. Makes sense. And, yep, Petersonian also reshuffles, albeit doing with the manual reshuffle action. Since Luciya is not a character with an Astral Heats, that's just a normal end turn draw, of course. And then Platinum did an automatic reshuffle, and therefore also does not get an Astral Heat. Sad day, no Astral Heats. Alright, Platinum boost defends, and turns it back over to Luciya. Luciya's in the corner, typically actually a good place for her. She is one of, what, like 2 characters who are happy to be in the corner? 3? No, 2. It's her and Cammy. Can't remember if there's another one. There's several characters who will wind up putting themselves in the corner, but not because they want to be there, just because they end up there. Alright, Luciya initiating 1 card, deciding whether or not to use transformations. We have a 2 force to jump over. Okay, getting out of the corner. Interesting. Kind of telegraphs across. Could also be a focus. Vega, thank y'all. How did I figure Vega? We just saw Vega. Alright, Grasp. So 4 power Grasp, deals 3, does not stun. Kind of a pity that wasn't used for grandstanding instead, right? And the question is, do you take Platinum out of the corner, or do you push her? If you push her, then she just closes back in. I mean, she closes back in either way. It's just a question of whether she's on that side of it. Okay. Apparently decided to push. So the players just didn't bother to move her position. Platinum's cleanup effects. Getting... Okay, cool. Magic Boomerang. Draw one, turn your attack to the top of your deck. Lets you recur a useful card or guarantee your Wild Boost, depending. Wild Boost is a fan nickname for her character ability, by the way. Wild Boost is not a mechanic, but her ability is kind of like if you boost with a Wild Swing. So, you get the idea. Alright. Luciya's turn. Ooh, that looks like a +3 speed. That's pretty threatening. And if it... Okay, nope, gets teched. Yep, off you go. It's a pretty good way to deal with that. Alright, defends. It's a lot easier to deal with. Ooh, +2 power, +2 armor. Good answer. Good answer. Yeah, that essentially just beats defends. Not, like, actually, right? Like, it's not strictly equivalent, but it is a good way to deal with it. Alright, Luciya prepped. Oh, we have reading. Success. That's going to be a Sammy. Oh! This was bold. That is an 8 power sweep, which does not stun a focus. It deals 8/3 is 5. Yeah, comically enough, if Petersonian had spent on Grandstanding, this would end the game... Oh, no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Excuse me. Sweep has 2 armor. Sweep has 2 armor. Okay. Yeah, so 8/3 deals 5. So Luciya is at 11. And loses a random card from hands. Yep. Alright. And draws a card. And then the sweep takes 4 minus 2 equals 2. Yep. Magic Boomerang causes Platinum to draw a card, and then play sweep on top of her deck, and then Reggie chooses to use her cleanup effect to put it into play, and it is then immediately teched by Luciya. Yep, makes sense. Alright, we are back to Platinum, who prepares, now with 7 cards in hands. Whew, not much life to spare. That is honestly pretty scary. Petersonian striking and spending 2 force to retreat 1, so that is a +2 power and strike at range 2. Strongly suggest downburst or cross. It is cross. Alright, that is a 4 power cross. No, sorry, 3 + 2 is 5. Yes, 5 power cross. Counting is hard. Alright. It's a fairly expensive cross. Alright, Platinum pays 1 force for extra armor. Sorry, 2 force for extra armor. Takes no damage. And then boosts Cat Hammer on her turn to give herself a range advantage. Pretty good. Alright, back to Luciya. It's looking like it's going to be hard for Luciya to close this game. Fierce. Oh man, Mystique Momo is very alive right now. The threat of Ride the Lightning is currently dead. Luciya is moving back in to range 2. Puts her at pretty significant threat. Does mean she can't really get spiked, though. Platinum backs up, apparently wanting to maintain that threat of a range, or of the effective range of either Spike or Dramatic Sammy. Notably, even though Luciya tends to favor spending Force from Gauge in her Exceed mode, she doesn't have to, so she still has access to both of the transformations. We'll see if it matters. Petersonian examining that reference. Let's take a look at Platinum's threats and decide how relevant they are. And then I'm guessing figure out what you aren't willing to lose to. Play around that. Resource exhaustion is currently about parallel for these two players. Petersonian's made a copy of the reference and is spreading it out. Might be looking to take notes a bit more rigorously. Yep, starting to knock down options as he sees them drop. So in a moment, assuming he doesn't make mistakes, we will be able to see what is left. This is essentially the same as in a real-life tournament, just having a sheet of notebook paper and then writing down the opponent's options and taking note of when they stop being available. But because this is the digital space, you can just literally, like, have copies of cards lying around. Granted, I think I've seen people do that in real life too, but, you know. Tournament players be crazy. Oh. Is Platinum using Luna's voice or Senna's voice? Well... Platinum is pretty terrifying right now, so I'm going to say right now that is definitely Luna. We might have seen Senna get beaten up earlier, though. I'm also going to say it depends who wins. If Platinum wins, I'm crediting Senna, because screw Luna. No. For those not familiar with BlazBlue lore, well, I'm not going to try to explain it. But the short version is that there are at least two souls dwelling in the body of Platinum the Trinity. One is named Luna and one is named Senna. Alright. Thunderbird backsteps, apparently looking to actually draw out that game a little bit. Force Platinum to get rid of some options. Funnily enough, they are at range 7, which means Platinum could still hit. Cat Hammer provides +1 to range, meaning Mystique Momo... Oh, okay, Platinum moving forward 1 space. Apparently not satisfied with that range 7 threat. Of course, if she did hit at range 7, she would then have no follow-up whatsoever. So, this seems reasonable. We have Parry? Probably calling Mami Circular? No? No, I guess not. Ah, here it is. Alright, EX Mystique Momo, EX Dramatic Sammy, Mami Circular, Focus. That's a very exciting hand. My goodness. Whew, EX Sammy and EX Momo. Oh no, we have a reading. Playing the thing that hits, yes. I mean, if you set an EX here, it is basically face up. Calling Sweep, and yep, popping for, what is that, 5 damage? Only 5, yeah. So Platinum cannot use the before effect to discard Fierce, or sorry, to discard Cat Hammer, because if she does, she will then only have range 2 to 5, and she'll miss, because it is a before effect, not a hit effect. That's still 5 free damage, though. And it gets rid of the normal from her hands. Reasonable. She does get rid of her boosts, so she doesn't have a follow-up, unless she gets a decent wild boost, so to speak. And she does. Oh wait, sorry. Maybe not, actually. This is a pretty dubious value. I think we saw it backfire the other game. Specifically against a character who is more threatening at range than you are. Now, at least this is Thunderbird, not New 13. Full board zoner, Thunderbird aims. Although she does have a card in her kit that can hit at full board. There's actually a card in her kit that can hit at every range, if I recall correctly. Alright, we have a 3-force, I'm guessing change cards. Yep. Yeah. So Thunderbird has now decided, we're not going to deck out, or at least we probably aren't. I'm going to dig deeper. Look for answers. Look for questions. Alright. Let's check those discards. Wonder if Platinum might have a second reading. That'd be really exciting. Also very silly, because it's kind of hard to make things hit with this boost in play. She does not have stuff that hits at this range normally. We are now near the middle of the endgame, possibly the end of the endgame. Oh, wait, was it Luciya's turn? I guess it was. Honestly, I lost track. There was a change cards, but did Platinum take an action afterward? I think she prepared. I think she, yeah, because she had the 3 known cards and then 2 more cards. So she must have prepared. Which means it would be Thunderbird's turn. Yep, okay. Lost track for a bit there. Well, this telegraphs Bug Zapper, which would be 3 power. Which is kind of dangerous. But if this does not have armor... Oh, that's really funny. So the telegraph was Bug Zapper. Probably in order to bait something with armor. And the bait was, in effect, successful. Alright, we have the other copy of Cat Hammer. Platinum running forward. Okay, Platinum's threat has escalated significantly. We're now at range 4 with plus 1 or 2 range, meaning anything that hits at range 2 can hit. Well, Thunderbird needs to find a way to deal with this. I'm not sure if we have the other Ride the Lightning available. I know we have EX Dramatic Sammy in hands. Yep, Petersonian with his opponent's permission, searching his deck. Whew. This is intense. We are on game 3 of this set. Both highly skilled players, both very experienced with their characters. Both players 2-0 going into this, but one of them will leave 3-0 and one will leave 2-1. Remaining cards on Luciya's side of the field. 11 remaining cards on Platinum's side of the field. That's a lot of information available. More than half your deck is gone. The opponent can figure out a decent amount about what you have left. Information, as in virtually any context, is power. Well, actually it's not power, maybe it's range. Speed, maybe? Well, it's a good stat, whatever it is. Yep. Petersonian evaluating those specials. Looks like... let's see, how are we reading this? It looks like Dream Sally has been consigned to Oblivion. 1 copy of Happy Magic is down. Oh, what's this? Oh. That happens a lot in Tabletop Simulator. When you right-click to search, it is easy to accidentally click Deal, which then results in a card being sent to every player. Randomly dealing cards from your deck into the hands of people at neighboring tables is a thing that does not happen often in real life, but it is a hazard of Tabletop Simulator. He was strike? Nope, maybe not. Oh, we have an EX, and we are spending to do something. Move 1. Okay, is this downburst, or do we have downbursts already gone? I'm not sure, honestly. Could be EX Assault? With that many cards down, you gotta feel like this is probably predictable. But I'm not sure what it is. It's definitely threatening lethal, that is 100% sure. Downburst, I believe, is the only play that beats that beats Grasp. Right, because Platinum's Grasp is speed 8 and does hit at this range. So moving in puts you smack in the middle of that range. Alright, Reggie, with the opponent's permission, searching his deck. Trying to decide if it's worth the risk of Wild Swinging here. Obviously EX and then this +2 from Gauge, due to Thunderbird's ability, means that this has a minimum power of 5, since Luciya doesn't have anything with different... Sorry, minimum power of 4, because I can do math. Luciya's lowest printed power is 1, and then +3. Alright, it is Downburst, and it does the job, oh my goodness. So before pull 2, hit for 6. Oh, sorry, 2 + 1 + 2. Hit for 5. Notwithstanding my inability to do math, there was the Grasp, which was specifically being covered. Armor was what was needed, and was there any armor left? Or was that just game? I am not sure. I'll let other people do the counting. Whew, that was tense. Well played, folks. Well played. Most exciting. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed. That does decide the set in favor of Petersonian. Platinum has been bested, both by Thunderbird and by New 13. Mole Knight triumphed to begin with. Then New took the middle game, and then Luciya, aka the Thunderbird, took the final rounds. Whew. Well then, I need a break after that. I wasn't even playing.